But before we get to Liz Truss, let's hear from the Green Party's only MP, Caroline Lucas. She's been on a visit to the region this week, telling party activists at a rally in Suffolk that they are part of an unstoppable green surge and they could make history by taking overall control of Mid Suffolk Council, which would be a first for the party. On a visit to Elswell, she helped plant orchard trees at the village's first eco homes project, which is now more than 12 years old. And while she was there, she found time to talk to us about the Green Party's ambitious hopes in this region.
It's not easy, but I can tell you that what's happening in Suffolk, frankly, is a bit of a quiet revolution. We've got more and more councillors now in Suffolk, and I think people are recognising that Greens are the opposition here. So many other opposition parties are now actually voting Green when it comes to this election because we are the best placed party to win. Conservatives themselves, I think, are looking at the government right now in some degree of horror, just seeing the incompetence and the farcical nature of having so many prime ministers, so many education secretaries, chancellors and so on, that actually, if you want a serious alternative, the way to do that is to get a Green voice in Parliament, get more Green voices in the local council.
Where are you expecting the votes to come from? You will know that the whole region is a very blue Tory voting region. Suffolk absolutely represents that too. You're expecting those die-hard Conservative voters to vote Green, are you?
I think certainly some of those Conservatives will vote Green, if only to send a very strong message to a Conservative government that they are utterly really incompetent right now and they're being farcical.
So it's a protest vote, is it? A Green vote is a protest vote?
When it comes to the other opposition parties, I think increasingly more of them will be voting tactically because they can see that the Greens are the best place to win seats. So I think what we see from the evidence is that Greens can take seats from every other party.
Let's talk about Suffolk's coast. You will know it's often referred to as the energy coast. A lot of focus on that, but also a lot of controversy as well, with local people really not happy with the infrastructure that they are having to deal with in order to make green energy, which of course you support, work.
I think there needs to be a lot more work done on streamlining the different landing points back to the coast so that we don't have more and more infrastructure right along the coast. I think far more of it needs to be coming from the sea and through channels in the sea rather than being more and more infrastructure on the coast. But I think, again, if Greens are listening to local communities, that is what we can be putting across. And renewables, I think, are the answer. I think they're far more sustainable, but they're also far more jobs rich than the alternatives. They're faster, quicker, more effective ways of getting our energy. So I think renewables are certainly here to stay. But I also take the point that they need to be done in ways that are as sensitive and as environmentally friendly as possible when it comes to that coastal area. Would your main point to communities be, look, if we're going to get this green energy up and working, you're just going to have to deal with some things that you might like not to deal with, so substations and pylons? I think we would want to be able to say to those communities that we hear your concerns, we share them, and we will work with you and put more resources into making sure that we absolutely minimise the numbers of those pylons and the numbers of those substations. All right, Caroline Lucas, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Andrew, you were on that visit. I mean, Caroline Lucas is very optimistic about the Green chances here in the region. How do you see it?
Well, Suffolk is very interesting at the moment. Across Suffolk and all its councils, the Greens now have 31 councillors, and they do point to things like energy coming ashore, and they do point to things like Sizewell as a reason for why people are moving from the Conservatives to them. It would be very interesting to see how they do in the local elections, Mid Suffolk particularly so. At the moment, the opposition parties and the Tories are neck and neck. The Tories who run the council, have to rely on the chairman's casting vote. The Greens are the second largest party. They need to win 6 seats to take full control of the council, but they believe it's possible.